Have you ever found yourself rushing through life so quickly that you've forgotten to truly live? Welcome to Story Haven, a sanctuary where each narrative offers a moment for reflection and tranquility. Today, we share a story that gently reminds us that genuine peace isn't found in speed, but rather in balance. Life sometimes whispers its lessons, other times it arrives like a storm. And occasionally, it appears in the form of a stranger who reveals our true selves. This is the tale of a man who believed the world was the source of his troubles, until he discovered the truth residing within his own heart. In the tranquil fields of Karnataka, lived a man named Ethan. Ethan was known for one defining characteristic, his constant restlessness. If he had to wait in line for even a minute, he would tap his foot impatiently. If his tea was served even slightly late, he'd sigh with such dramatic emphasis that everyone nearby would notice. If someone spoke deliberately, his eyebrows would furrow in irritation. He was convinced that the world moved too slowly, that people were wasting his precious time, and that life should unfold exactly as he desired. His wife, Anna, watched him with growing concern. Every evening, she'd ask the same question, "Ethan, why do you rush so frantically through life? Why do minor delays upset you so deeply?" Ethan would invariably reply, "Because time is invaluable. People need to learn to be more efficient." But he failed to grasp a crucial truth: while he was rushing through life, life was also rushing past him. He was missing moments of serenity without even realizing it. One morning, as Ethan prepared to leave for the town market, he discovered his sandals were missing. He searched frantically under the bed, behind the door, and throughout the kitchen. Nothing. "Who moved my sandals?" he exclaimed. "Why can't this house ever stay organized?" Anna emerged calmly and suggested, "They're probably by the door. You always leave them there." But Ethan was too agitated to listen. He stormed outside and found his sandals exactly where she had indicated. As he made his way to the market, a slow-moving bullock cart blocked his path. Ethan's anger flared. He tried to pass, but the road was too narrow. "Move faster," he shouted from behind. "I have important business." The old man on the cart replied serenely, "Son, the road is long. You will get there eventually." But Ethan simply shook his head and hurried past, muttering, "These people, they have no regard for time." That night, as he sat alone under the dim glow of a lantern, he felt a strange tightness in his chest. "Why do I feel so perpetually exhausted?" he wondered aloud. He had no answer, but life had one prepared for him. The following morning, Ethan walked to the old bus stop near the banyan tree, where he was to collect a parcel from town. At the bus stop sat an elderly man in a saffron shawl, his face adorned with a gentle smile and his eyes radiating peace. This was Elder Henry, a wandering storyteller who journeyed from village to village. He spoke kindly to everyone. Children gathered around him, women offered him buttermilk, and men sought his wisdom on matters of life. Ethan glanced at him and thought dismissively, another person with nothing better to do. But the bus was, as usual, running late, and Ethan's irritation intensified with each passing minute. Looking around, he declared loudly, "Why is this bus always late? Nothing in this country ever runs on time." Elder Henry turned to him and smiled. "Son, may I ask you a question?" Ethan frowned. "Fine. Do you get angry when the sun rises late?" Ethan looked perplexed. "The sun never rises late." "And do you shout at the river when it flows slowly?" "No, of course not." Elder Henry nodded. "Then why do you shout at humans, who are far more complex than rivers and suns?" Ethan opened his mouth, but no words came out. The old man continued, "You are angry because you expect life to move at your pace. But life has its own rhythm." Something within Ethan softened, just a fraction. Elder Henry picked up a small, simple clay pot that the villagers had given him. It was light and empty. He handed it to Ethan. "Hold this," he said. Ethan took the pot. "Now, squeeze it as hard as you can." Ethan gripped the pot firmly. After a moment, his fingers began to ache. The old man asked, "Is the pot hurting you?" "No, my hand is hurting." "Exactly," Elder Henry said. This pot represents your expectations. You are gripping life too tightly, and the pain is not coming from life itself, but from the intensity of your grip. He gently took the pot back and placed it on the ground. Life becomes much easier when you hold it lightly. Ethan felt a profound shift within himself, as if a door long locked had finally creaked open. That same evening, Ethan resolved to try something different. He told himself, "I will not rush today." The first test arrived immediately. His neighbor, a kind teacher named Lydia, walked by and said, "Ethan, could you help me carry these books to the school?" Normally, he would have declined with a curt "I'm busy." But today, he paused, took a breath, and remembered the clay pot. "Okay, I'll help," he replied softly. They walked slowly, conversing about the schoolchildren, the monsoon season, and the early blooming of the mango trees. For the first time in a long while, Ethan noticed the chirping birds, the scent of damp earth, and the distant sound of children's laughter. When he returned home, Anna looked surprised. "You seem calm," she observed. Ethan smiled gently. "I tried holding life lightly." The next day, he went to the market. It was crowded, and people were bustling everywhere. A vendor spilled water near his feet, and a man accidentally bumped into him. His old self would have erupted in anger, but he breathed deeply, remembering the pot and the pain in his hand. When the vendor apologized, Ethan said, "It's all right. Just be careful next time." When the man bumped into him, Ethan simply stepped aside without a word. He felt a strange sensation, freedom. He realized he was no longer battling the world, he was simply adjusting his grip. But life always presents a final test. 1 week later, Ethan found himself waiting at the bus stop once more. The bus was already 25 minutes behind schedule. People grumbled, and some even left. Ethan's heart began to race with irritation. At that moment, Elder Henry approached him. "The world is testing you today," he said knowingly. Ethan exhaled slowly. "I know, and I am trying." The old man sat beside him. "Let me share something with you," he said. "When a drum is too tight, it produces a harsh, jarring sound. When it is too loose, it makes no sound at all. But when it is balanced, it creates beautiful music. Humans are the same. Too much tension brings pain, too much laxity leads to carelessness. Balance brings peace." Ethan looked at the ground, humbled. "I never realized how unbalanced I was." The old man smiled. "Now you do. And knowing is the beginning of wisdom." Just then, the bus finally arrived. But Ethan was no longer concerned about the delay. He felt a profound sense of peace. Months passed, and people noticed the transformation in Ethan. He spoke more deliberately, walked more gently, and listened attentively before speaking. He helped his neighbors without rushing. Children approached him with their small troubles, shopkeepers greeted him warmly, and the women in the village smiled when they saw him assisting his wife in the courtyard. One afternoon, a young boy asked him, "Uncle, how did you become so calm?" Ethan looked at the boy's inquisitive face and replied, "I stopped squeezing life so tightly. I started holding it lightly." The boy nodded, not fully understanding, but remembering the words. Life will inevitably run slowly at times. People will delay you, and plans will change. But your inner peace should not depend on external circumstances, because the world will never move at your speed. When you loosen your grip, life becomes gentler, people become easier to deal with, and your heart becomes lighter. So, the next time you feel restless, remember the clay pot and whisper to yourself, "I will not squeeze life. I will hold it lightly." Because those who walk gently walk far. Do not wait for tomorrow to begin. Start today, even with the smallest step. Thank you for listening to this story on Story Haven. If this tale resonated with you, brought you calm, or sparked contemplation, please like this video, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to Story Haven for more meaningful stories every week. Until next time, may your steps be gentle and your heart be light.